Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the High School League. I'm one of your casters for today. My name is Chihuai, and special guest, filling in for Mr. Dunphy, we have the man behind the scenes. He controls all the tech. Hello, Kryptonite. How you going?
I'm well, thank you. How you doing, Chihuai?
Yeah, good. So we have a special caster since Mr. Dunphy is in another school meeting. Boring.
Typical Mr. Dunphy.
There we go. And so a little bit about Kryptonite. He's sitting behind us pretty much every single week, making sure that these streams go out without a hitch. So everything that you see, everything that you hear is 100% up thanks to him. So thank you very much. Let's talk about you. So what's your favorite position to play? How long have you been playing League for? Let's go over the general basics.
Just play a bit there, here and there. Mainly play mid.
Yeah, mid. Favorite champion in mid lane?
Oh, you got to say Ziggs.
Ziggs, yeah.
Just throwing bombs left, right, and center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how long have you been playing for?
Or maybe since season 2 or 3.
Yeah, about the same
Took
time.
a bit of a break in the middle.
Yeah.
But yeah, back into it.
I feel like anyone who's been playing since season 2, I know I have as well, has taken a little bit of a break. We're jumping straight into it as well. So it's easy. Chisholm Chiefs versus Maroochydore. We'll see what happens in the picks and ban phase. You can never really tell. I mean, I like to think it is the caster's curse. You say one thing and then they go and do the other thing, and that tends to happen whenever I'm casting. So I don't like to make general assumptions, but we'll just go over the picks and bans and see what happens. And that's about it.
It seems that they didn't actually end up picking a champion.
So it looks like it's a weird meta where it's.
I'm not sure.
Well, it looks like a remake might be happening, but there's the Kaisar ban, or it was some next level play where they don't ban anyone and only allow for the 9 bans to come through.
Yeah, they might be trying something sneaky. We don't know.
We don't know, but most probably it will be a remake here. We have yet to see. We'll wait for a referee to jump on the case and maybe restart the lobby here. But if not, we shall continue on. It looks like they will be going on for a second meta, which is not banning anything. There it is.
Right.
Kindred gone. Microlag is an amazing Kindred player,
yes.
And it's to be expected that Kindred would have been banned out. It has shown such great presence in the previous games, and it's just dangerous to verse against.
Pretty much since the first or second game, Kindred has been banned out against us every game.
Yeah. And then second ban for the Chiefs there has been the Zoe. Now that is a targeted ban at the mid laner. They have seen that he's quite a good Zoe, and they wanted to get rid of that. Very smart. And the Kaiser as well. I mean, Kaiser is a really strong pick nowadays. But let's transition back over there. It will be a remake looking like that first ban. There was a little bit of an accident. It's alright. These things happen. It looks like we will be jumping back into it, hopefully as soon as possible, waiting for the rematch, restart of the game to come upon us.
Yeah,
but, just more time to talk. That's all. That's what we're here for. And, so you like playing Ziggs?
Yes.
You've been playing since season 2. What's the most hated champion that you have?
Oh, just have a guess. Just number 1 ban, mid lane, just every single game, just ban the one champion.
Oh man, now I'm on the spot. Is it? Oh, I was gonna say Darius, but
no, that's top lane.
Yeah. What do you ban?
Zed.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
He is a handful.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
Against the Ziggs, you can't do that much.
That makes sense. That does make sense. I would be very afraid for a squishy little Yordle going against a Zed, Master of Shadows. Speaking about Zed, I was just watching, and I do recommend this, if you watch the Faker Zed clip from, I forgot what, it was in Korea, one of the in Korean tournaments fun fact for those playing at home, if in Korean tournaments, they used to have the ban and pick phase. But if the tournament actually went to a tie, they used to do a blind pick where you used to not ban anyone, so you'd have these same champion matchups. So that led to a ZvZ mid lane, which led to the most well-known clip probably in League of Legends. Aside from Expeke, But that's a whole nother situation.
Are we talking about the back?
Yeah. Where it is Z v Z in mid lane, and the absolute APM, which is actions per minute, coming out from both those mid laners were ridiculous.
Just dash, shuriken,
It was dash shuriken. I believe Faker at some point cleansed the death mark from the Z, and then there was ignites, and it was jumping around. Like, they slowed it down, and even still, I couldn't understand it without a full breakdown. And then talking about iconic moments, you also have the Expecki backdoor playing as Cassidon, which, that's iconic.
We'll get to that in a minute. We're back into the band.
Back in the picks and bans. Oh man, looks like Maroochydore doesn't want Microlag to play at all today. They're banning out Lee Sin and Kindred. Good, aggressive champions coming out from the jungle side there. Lee Sin has been picked up. Lee Sin's always had a really good play rate, but quite recently his pick rate started to go up a little bit, mainly because of SKT's new jungler has been playing a lot of Lee Sin, and it's good to see an aggressive SKT jungler again. But the last two bans for both sides are Jhin and Zillion. Jhin, he's scary. Ooh. He's scary, and there's a Jax pick probably for top lane, I would assume, and there is a Gnar pick from the top side to possibly counter that. Yeah, we'll see.
Looks like Maroochydore might be favouring late game competition at the moment.
We will. Yeah. Anything with Jax is late game. You get Jax to the late game, and he's just demolishing everyone, whacking you with his lamp. That is kind of a little bit of a flex pick. He can be run top or jungle. We're not entirely sure. We'd have to see the rest of the picks to come through, but that is a nice first pick. The Jarvan to come out in retaliation. Looks like we're going to go for a bit of a dunk squad.
Yeah, a bit of a lockdown.
Yeah, bit of a... you got the Gnar who jumps in, throws everyone into the Jarvan walls. Yeah. I'm actually throwing upon this. I would probably look at a Malfunction playing an Orianna. We have seen him play the Orianna in previous games, and the LeBlanc being able to sneak through as well. I know that the guys were looking at probably banning the LeBlanc there, and it has managed to sneak through. They decided that Zoe was a greater threat. And Sion, which leads me to believe that, yes, that Jax will be in the jungle there. Sion, probably in the top, but, a while ago, we actually did see Sion in the bot lane as a support, so unsure, but there's the teleport.
This is a very interesting comp Maroochidore's throwing at us.
Yeah, it is heavily scaling that late game.
Yes.
You look at the LeBlanc, who's only going to get very strong towards the late game. The Jax, he can solo dragons. He can probably take Scuttle by himself as well if played correctly. The Sion gets health from killing minions and killing monsters. So he's going to be building further and further up. They are playing, with the two Jax and LeBlanc, they are playing a bit of an all-in to begin with. And there's the Ezreal ban coming out for Chisholm Chiefs there, and the Akali being picked up at the mid lane, which I know Malfunction wants to get his hands around. He's been playing quite a bit of Akali, and I believe he played it last week as well. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how this goes against a LeBlanc as well. Someone also who is going to be a ranged champion that might throw a little bit of more aggression what he's used to onto it. But he did counter pick it. So there is that. The two last bans for each side have been Lucian and Morgana, and then Lulu banning for the Chiefs there. The Lucian Morgana, that's a good comp. No one wants to get Morgana snared and be held down for 2.5 years.
Yeah, very surprised that Morgana was the one banned instead of the Bard or the Braum.
Yeah,
that is the small boys two champions.
Yeah, and against... actually looking at this now, a Bard or a Braum in that bottom lane there could go quite well. I'm thinking the Ignite there, maybe a Leona to run well with the Ashe here. Even a Thresh would work well. You'd be able to pull out your Ashe from, say, an Akali gank or even a J4. Being able to also flay him away. So, those are the basic ones you're looking at. But looks like it might be a Soraka. That was the other one I was going to throw at.
Okay.
Soraka did recently get a buff. So her healing on the Q is a little bit better. It's actually a lot better. So she has a lot better sustain. And she's also running Barrier. Which is an interesting pick. You don't usually see a lot of supports run Barrier. they tend to run either exhaust or ignite to help peel for the AD carry there. But a barrier might be useful. You are going to be lacking out on, say, that exhaust for the amount of damage that's going to be coming out of Akali and Jinx. I guess, as well, you look at Jax, LeBlanc, Sion, and Ashe, and then you got the hyper carries as Akali and Jinx. If left unchecked, Jinx will be able to do a tremendous amount of damage from a very far away, as opposed to the more close range damage that's going to come out of the Jax and LeBlanc. They do need to get up into your face to do damage, and the Braum, the J4 are only going to be able to help to peel for that Jinx.
What I'd like to see from Mycolag is, if he's going to start that red side, he needs to go top early. He needs to get this Gnar on top of this Jax. Or if he's going to start this blue, we need to get that bot lane going.
Yeah.
We can't let this Jinx and Braum fall behind to this Ashe and Soraka.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I mean, even looking at the bottom lane here, I do believe that Jinx and Jinx and Braum might have the upper hand. I mean, usually with the Soraka, you tend to pair it with someone who's going to stay back a lot more. And, I mean, Ashe is going to want to stay back, but her attack range is quite short. And she is more about the consistent follow-up. Using her passive to get that additional crit, the critical hits after they are slowed. And I mean, they are quite squishy as well. Soraka has changed off barrier to ignite, so it wasn't a bit of a misclick. She did change off, but I mean, looking at the ignite as well, Braum's quite a tanky fellow.
He is, yeah.
Like, if Braum gets in the way, that's going to stop a lot of damage. And I don't know if
stopping that Ashe ult as well.
Yeah, and I don't know if Soraka's going to be able to heal enough, especially towards the late game, which is going to stop the Jinx. If ahead, I mean, firing off the rockets from Fishbones, that's just going to do, I mean, a lot of damage in a wide area effect from such a far way away. But, you know, we'll see how these games play out. We'll see where they start, whether they go for, say, an early invade. I know that they have played a little... Chisholm Chiefs, in that regard, have played a little bit aggressive when they have played the Braum. They have tried to go for those early level ones.
Braum is one of the strongest early game supports.
Yeah,
like level 1 supports.
His passive is insane. Yes. I mean, if they didn't ban the Lucian, I would have 100% expected to see a Lucian picked up instead of the Jinx. Actually, maybe we'll. I mean, depending on the LeBlanc, I guess that's the key factor here. That LeBlanc, and whether she does have a lot of global presence due to her roaming, or what happens there. Yeah, I guess we've just got to wait and see what happens from the mid lane. Whether she does roam around, whether Akali as well follows up the roams. You know, it's up in the air. I mean, we can speculate as much as we can, but it all comes down to what happens in game, which will be happening very shortly. And with this, I'd also just like to thank everyone here at Chisholm Catholic College, everyone at UQ for hosting this event, and Summoner Society as well. Thank you so much to everyone who's been here to help us with this tournament here, the first of many, hopefully. It's going to be awesome to see how this grows as a community, as a tournament, as esports in general in schools, which would be very awesome to see. I mean, esports is taking a huge turn, especially you'd think it would be slowly dying out, but it's just, especially League of Legends, it's been out for so long, but yet it still is such an amazing game because it is so polished and refined that even with consistent update or with different updates, it's just adding new flavor to the game, which is changing styles up. I mean, you look back in the day and it was very much about the picks and bans and the team comps and everything like that. But nowadays, you look at a lot of pro teams are more focusing on counter picking and using their momentum in Champ Select, because that's where the start of the game is, in making sure that you get what you want and the enemy doesn't get what they want. And using mind games as well. I know I saw a few games in MSI, which is the mid-seasonal invitationals, which were 100% about playing some variation of mind games, allowing one choice for a top laner to come through, be that would be Jace. They left Jace up. This is G2 versus SKT, I believe. Maybe wrong there. I think it was SKT. And they let Jace go to the top laner, and their top laner is a ridiculously good Jace. And they were like, well, since we've got that, we know
all the rule book out, and we'll just.
And then so what they did was they picked Pyke, which is not something you would have thought as a counter to Jace, but Pyke's roaming capabilities is so much more than what a Jace can do.
Yeah, when I had the Yumus and the Mobo boots.
He moves around he swims around very quick. And the other thing is that when Jace would EQ someone and chunk their health down, all Pyke needs to do is to get into Fog of War and not be seen, and then he regens all that health back up. It was very quick, and it was such a good to and fro that essentially he just had a second health bar at all times. Anyway, we should be jumping into the game very shortly. Here we go, and let's see what happens. I mean, usually, a few seasons ago, we used to talk about lane swapping a lot. There used to be a lot of lane swap. You'd have your bot lane go to your top lane, and then your tops and your bots would swap, and so you'd just be versing 2-on-1. It was all about getting that first tower gold, which nowadays it would be pretty useful considering they've all got tower plating. And that gives you such a large gold bonus. But nothing out of the ordinary in terms of first item pickups. Akali does have the minion dematerializers, I believe is what they're called. And then, dematerializer, there we go. And then Jinx is running the broken stopwatch, which, I did talk about that, I think last week. Or I think it was last week, or a few weeks ago, where Duralingus was able to keep the stopwatch for such a long time until it came to a gank underneath tower, and was able to pop the Zonya's effect and just keep himself alive, and was able to turn that, I believe, into a double kill. So it has proven very useful. Basic starts here look like we are going into the red side here and the blue side
very
for
nice
Chisholm.
Early wards, as Chisholm Chiefs were invaded early on and played it very well last week.
Yeah.
So they're being very cautious at the moment, just
and
seeing
especially
where things are going.
That tri-brush is double warded both from red side and from blue. I know that has been a very good trap point, especially against the bot side. Maroochydore would have to be careful because that Jinx Braum lane, it's going to be able to pop that Braum passive off very fast. And Jack's not using Smite on the red buff either, and Microlag is running for his red, so whether he's going for maybe an invade here, or just an early gank into top lane, we'll have to see. Jax is taking his... Jax is
early red, that's going to be very tough up top.
Yeah, and if the Sion walks out of position here to maybe CS, Microlag is sitting up there to engage on him, but unfortunately not.
Here we go, the slows on the red.
Yeah, the slows on the red and the flash being forced out of the Sion there, and the flag and drag not able to land a connect there to knock him up. But looks like
straight up.
Looks like he is also going to be going, at least looking into that blue, but the blue buff is warded there. Jax is caught out of position there. He might have to flash over the wall. He's getting attacked from one side, two side, and Nara's also coming down the river. The Akali coming up, the flag and drag also coming through. But, that is a lot of damage coming out from LeBlanc. Such an early damage coming out. And unfortunately, that's Microlag dropping first blood going to Maroochydore, and that is unfortunate to see. They did catch Jax out of position, but the electrocute damage coming out from LeBlanc just didn't work. Unfortunately, that will put Microlag down at a little bit of a disadvantage in terms of leveling compared to the Jax there, as he will be able to take his blue buff, and he's also lost red buff to LeBlanc, which won't help for getting poked down by Akali in the mid lane.
I don't think the Chisholm Chiefs were thinking that pathing for the Jacks because they had that ward down in that bottom tri-brush.
Yeah.
And then they saw the 2 bot laners coming down and they're like, okay, he was starting red side. But
Yeah.
he went straight through up top.
Yeah. That was a very quick... I don't know whether he was looking for, maybe he hadn't gone to his red and he was checking that. That is a weird, like, kind of an odd pathing choice to make there. But, I mean, it resulted in a kill.
Yeah, he must have seen that pressure up top and he's just like, I need to go up and help.
Yeah, so that did work out in the end there, getting that LeBlanc 1 kill, and, I mean, that's scary. Scary to begin with. I don't like LeBlancs. I don't like when they get...
Malfunction's gonna be hurt.
He's got his work ahead of him, yeah. There's a few trades going backwards and forward there. The Soraka just throwing down, you know, just the comets from space. Just healing up a little bit, throwing them down. Just attacking Braum a little bit. There's another one. She's healing back.
Interesting for the Ashe to go with that Doran shield when she could have went with the sword, just because getting the heals from the Soraka.
Yeah, I guess you do have the negation from... say, the Jinx auto attacks, especially the miniguns. They don't tend to be as powerful as, say, the rockets.
Yeah.
So, and she's going to be attacking quite fast, and it is going to negate a lot of auto attack damage there. But there's a few trading backwards and forwards there. The silence coming up from Soraka, stopping a little bit of damage, and the small boy Braum taking quite a bit of chip damage there. Just getting chunked outside of lane, and he's sitting a little bit lower, and he's going to be wanting to try to pick up those coins there to recover some health and or mana, but doesn't look like he's going to be able to get to it in time. And you know, everyone's trading nowadays. There's a bit of a CS discrepancy in mid lane. LeBlanc is about 10 CS up, but that was to be kind of expected, as Akali does need to get really close to farm the minions, as LeBlanc can just sit back. The Gnar, however, has a commanding lead over the Sion in top lane, and Jax has realised there's a red ward there. I should probably take that out.
Chisholm have done a really good job of warding that river around that mid lane. Don't want to get that LeBlanc too far ahead. Yeah,
I mean, now looking at it, the blue side, the blue side, they've
gone down.
They did retake that red ward there. So they have changed over command there in the bottom river, and now it's Maroochidore's time to have that red ward there, and we'll see if they notice that. We'll see if they pick up on it. We'll see how long it lasts there. And Braum figuring that probably a little bit too dangerous to stay there for much longer. Hey Ashe, can you hold this by yourself? But the Ashe is actually going straight through. She is doing a lot of damage there. The Q coming out, the heal actually being popped by Duralingus. Whew! The Ashe Q with lethal tempo. She's just Katniss Everdeen. Just machine gun on the arrows there. That was fast and furious. That was a lot of damage coming out, and forcing Jinx to go back as well, which is only going to add to the CS discrepancy here for Ashe. She's 60 up on the 47 for Jinx. And there's the Akali also going in, throwing a lot of damage there. The ult's coming through, but whether she figured out the wrong one, she flashed onto it. But there's a flag and drag, forcing the flash. The smite coming down, possibly trying to steal a little bit of movement speed, but nothing can come from it. Unfortunately, Akali flashed and auto-attacked the wrong LeBlanc clone, but that's also a flash for flash. And Malfunction's got to feel a little bit good from that engage, was able to stop the Akali from coming through. The Sion, Dinner Bell has been rung and he's running through. The J4 is going to have to flag and drag out of there. EQ combo and Malfunctions, level 7, Akali's level 6. The dash coming through, the Q not being able to hit, the electrocute damage does go off. Man, this LeBlanc's real slippery. She's surviving on such a sliver of health. Woo.
That's the ulti down for the top lane of Maroochydore.
Yeah, I mean, and that is such a
powerful weapon.
The Sion, you know, charging straight into it and getting a huge knock-up if possible, and not being able to stop him as well. I mean, they are going to actually be able to stop him with the J4 Cataclysm.
Yes.
So they will be able to have some control of whether Sion is able to Thomas the Tank Engine himself straight into the pretty much ring the dinner bell. The train's coming. All of this thing, and there's Ashe again, just applying so much damage there. And then Braum's going to try to block a little bit of it, but that Soraka is just keeping the Ashe so healthy. What do you do in this situation?
Tell you what, once this game keeps going later and later, it's going to be really hard to get away from this Maroochydore team. With this comp, you can't run.
Actually,
you cannot run.
The CC coming up from the Scion, the Ashe ultimate coming through, the Ashe slows, the LeBlanc being able to W chase you everywhere, the Jax by himself, just a huge threat. I mean, you can kind of say the same about Chisholm Cheese as well. The Akali has 3 dashes. I mean, Na can bounce, Braum can dash, J4 can double dash if you count Cataclysm as a semi-dash, as long as there's someone there. I mean, it's going to be an interesting game. If you get caught out, you're not going to go anywhere. You're just going to be continually chased. You got the 5-star wanted level coming through.
Chiefs are going to have to really think about this. How do you see them progressing in the next 5 minutes to try and get back on top?
I think what it's gonna take is possibly. I feel like you need to really set this bot lane behind. I mean, you're looking at this discrepancy right now, and the Ashe is up on the Jinx, and I mean, if you don't take them out, the Soraka is just gonna keep Ashe in lane for so long. The Shroud being dropped by Akali there, defensive maneuver. But she's taking a little bit of damage, but in retaliation, she has chipped away a little bit of LeBlanc as well. LeBlanc's coming straight back, popping the electrocute there. The Q coming, the E, sorry, and there's the Ignite as well. The LeBlanc chipping her down. That is it's a dangerous LeBlanc now.
And
she's
got
2
the
up.
bounty now.
She does have a bounty on her head, and there's 2 up for the LeBlanc there, but you're gonna be as Malfunction, you're going to be careful about that one. And there's the silence coming down, plus the Ashe lethal tempo Q. Just absolutely machine gunning down the Braum there. No matter how much your shield can block, it's not going to be able to block all of it.
2,000 gold lead. It's going to be really hard as well to get down to that bottom lane. That river...
He's just always watered. And there's the ult coming out as well, and I believe that this is one dead Braum, but there's the Soraka actually took that, but the stun coming down from the Braum passive, able to save Jinx there, and J4 is also in that bottom lane. The stun not hitting on the top side. There's the flag and drag coming through for Microlag. The silence, however, stopping him from progressing any further and possibly popping that ult down onto the Ashe. Doralingus is a little bit down on mana, so not going to be able to do anything. But the EQ combo coming through, the Cataclysm also being dropped, but the Soraka is just continually keeping this. The Soraka is just keeping this Ashe healed at all times. The ambulance coming through and just keeping you. Oh man. Yeah, that was a very, very intense bot lane fight there, but just the healing coming out from Soraka there, not being able to focus her down first. I mean, that's just, whew, don't want to see that. And then there's a bit of trading again going into the mid lane. It's presently 4-0.
You just look at that gold as well. There's 1,000 lead on that Ashe.
Yeah.
Even almost 1,000 lead on that Soraka.
Yeah, I mean, Soraka did also pick up one of the kills there, so she's going to have that. I mean, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Of course, we do need to take into consideration that the minions have been shared between Braum and Jinx.
Yes.
So that there has been a bit of gold shared between them, but, I mean, man...
It's also going to be scary now with the LeBlanc, with the Ashe, with the Soraka going back. They have all that gold now to spend.
They do, and whether they do go back now, Ashe has picked up her Infinity Edge, so I don't want to go against that. And especially being healed consistently by Soraka, that's going to be a very painful lane to look at. I mean, Jinx is someone who wants to sit there and continue to attack over and over and over again. She wants to sit into more of those delayed team fights, but the more the delayed team fight comes through, the more heal Soraka is going to come out for, and just the more Ashe is going to be kept alive. So you almost need to consider, hey, is it worthwhile focusing down the Soraka? But if you focus down the Soraka, the Ashe is just going to be there free, so it's this double-edged sword. I mean, Jax is there looking at maybe getting a gank onto it. There's the stun coming out. Unfortunately, the Braum wall is the wrong way. The Braum ult coming through. The Jinx now applying a lot of damage but the Soraka ult stopping them. Jinx is really low there, and the Blanc as well, being able to rotate very quickly, and that is 6-0. I didn't even see that LeBlanc come down from mid lane. She's just very quick on the rotations there. She has also picked up her Luden, so the damage, the burst damage is only going to be added to it more. And that possibly might be a tower as well. The Jax is there, the Ashe is there, the Soraka is there.
With 30 seconds left on that plating,
and they might be able to get
all that gold.
They might get a few. Looks like they got one. They might get two. They might get three. And I mean, well, it's looking like it might be a tough game to pull back from already.
Yeah, I definitely see them after this turret definitely rotating through to the dragon.
Yeah, I mean there are wards around, so they are going to be able to figure out if they are going to go for it. But I mean, it looks like
they're doing that.
Looks like they will go for that Ocean Drake, giving them the out of combat healing and mana regen. And yeah, that's just going to be chunked down. The Jax is going to be so powerful once he picks up his Trinity Force. But going off that, the Jax doesn't even have his fully completed jungle item yet. He's just got his Tiamat. And then that's about it for items. I mean, his machete isn't even upgraded into a... So it is interesting to see. I mean, he does have the gold for it. Whether it is a specific build or somewhat, or he's looking at going for a specific thing straight away. And there's the LeBlanc absolutely destroying the Akali there. The Cataclysm coming down, but LeBlanc jumping straight up. The Mastery emote, that's what we don't want to see there. That's a bit of BM coming out from the LeBlanc. And, you know, it's a fun game. Don't want to see that. But the tower going down in the bot side. Braum taking a lot of damage there from...
Never ending arrows over here.
The Gnar coming through. The Ashe ult coming through. The Soraka might actually fall. Get rid of her. She out. She got dunked on. Get rid of the ambulance. And there's the Ashe as well. The flag coming through. The slow on the chilling smite. But the Braum as well landing the passive. I believe that will be one gone. Ashe as well. The ultimate coming through from... Duralingus to secure that, and that is 2 kills for the Chief, plus a Scuttle. Cheeky Microlag got that.
Didn't even notice that one.
He was able to take that down, which will probably result in another tower where they will be able to take this down before the Scuttle hits it. I believe her name is Sally as well. That's the nickname that they like to have for her. And there's the Jax there. The LeBlanc is sitting in the back lane. Whether she jumps in and does a lot of damage, but the Jax getting stunned. The bounce coming out from Macintosh, applying the little bit of damage there. And God, Jax goes down. That's a really good turn of events there. However, Cyan has just been left up in the top lane, so he will be taking down the tower bit by bit. I wouldn't surprise me if you see him come down.
Too aggressive.
Yeah, I mean they were
coming back into it slowly.
They were caught out there, and they didn't have. They do have a deep ward there, sitting. That's Maroochidore's ward just next to the the Brawn. Sorry, but they didn't have. They don't really have any coming through the. They do have it now. They do have it now. Excuse me. But they weren't able to see that J4 coming through. It was a little bit too late. They did push up a little bit too far on that bot side, which resulted in the 2 kills coming through for Jinx and the 1 coming through for Braum. Oh, Frozen Mallet being picked up for the Gnar, so only going to add to the effect that you can't run away from him. He's going to be slowing you with your Q. He's going to be slowing you with the auto attacks. He's going to be speeding himself up from the W. Good luck getting away. Whether he survives that long is the other thing.
So another fun fact about Shelly, I like to call her Shelly.
Yeah.
That you might not know,
yeah,
because we were just talking about Shelly, is if Shelly can get all the way through to the Nexus and beat the Nexus, Shelly dances.
Yes, she does the Carlston dance from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I believe that, which was the original dance move from the Spider that's in... The Spider does the same thing. And there's Microlag coming through to mid lane. A little bit of asserting dominance, just walking straight up to her and just smacking her once and then walking away. But yeah, I believe the Spider in Twisted Treeline, the 3v3 map. Oh, whoa. And blink and you'll miss it. The Akali getting popped by the LeBlanc as well. Turned away for 1 second and then no more Akali. That was
that LeBlanc going 5-0.
Yeah, that is a very aggressive LeBlanc there. And the Gunblade being picked up for the Akali. The Braum ult coming through, stopping the LeBlanc. The stun maybe coming out. There's a stun coming through, but not being able to do enough damage there. The Soraka coming out to heal. The Ashe applying so much damage there. The Jink having to pop her broken stopwatch, but that will result in a 4 for O. Whew. that Soraka was able to keep the LeBlanc alive with just a sliver of health.
Silences. How are we going to get through this one, July?
Yeah, I mean, it is looking... I mean, obviously you're looking at your two big carries, which is your LeBlanc and your Ashe. But at the same time, the MVP, like that Soraka, is just being able to do so much with so little. She's able to just sit there and just spam Ws onto her allies and just keep them healed. Alongside that, with the ult, I mean, it's just a ridiculous amount of healing.
With this also, even in that whole team fight, that Scion was not a part of it. He's
Yeah.
just been sitting top, just chilling out,
Doing his
waiting
top
till
laners
late
do.
game.
Yeah. And there's the Ashe and Soraka just clearing out a few wards there in the red side. We will see what happens now. The Jinx there rotating into bottom side, but red will come onto micro lag. Looks like they will be grouping up in mid. Scion has gone back, so it's pretty likely that he will be going straight for the dragon here. And unfortunately, Doralingus, you need to get out of here. Code red, hit that red button. You need to leave, for there is a nuke sitting right there, and the nuke's name is LeBlanc. And you do not need a 25 kill streak to activate this nuke. That's a throwback to the old COD games, Modern Warfare 2. And looks like they will be giving up the dragon here. They did notice that maybe that they were getting collapsed upon. The Jax is also nowhere near, so they do not have the smite to secure it. Whether they will also risk possibly going for a dragon steal. There's the flag drop coming down. The E coming down. The Jax is also sitting right there. The LeBlanc sitting just along the side. Scion is still top, but he does have his teleport. The dragon has reset a little bit. The smite coming through, being able to secure it. The Braum ult coming through, being able to maybe able to stop the LeBlanc here. Oh man, there's a lot of heals coming through. There's a lot of stuns coming through as well. The ult coming down onto the Jax. The LeBlanc trying to take down the rest of Chisholm Cheese there, but not going to be able to do enough damage. They're going to be able to take down the Jax and the LeBlanc for a 2-for-0 plus dragon. Really good trade and engage for the Chiefs there, being able to say, hey, we're gonna do this dragon now. You better be able to want to take this with us, or you better take us down. And it proved that the Chiefs took them both down and the dragon. So I mean, and that's a really good kill considering they did pick up the bounty from the LeBlanc.
That fight really went very long. Both teams, with their surviving, very good.
Yeah, I mean, it is the first step to possibly coming back into this game. There is a 5k gold lead. Ridiculous. And the Akali has the Gunblade, so she's going to start to pick up momentum. I mean, once Akali starts getting ahead, this Ashe, she ain't going to be able to live no more. I mean, the Soraka healing is good, but when you get popped in about 3 microseconds, the Soraka healing ain't going to do anything. And I mean, what worked really well is, I mean, you wouldn't probably be able to see it in that mess, but the J4 Cataclysm plus the Gnar ultimate, throwing them into the walls there, able to stop them in their tracks, and especially being able to peel for their Jinx there, being able to throw the Jax into the wall and say, hey, you need to settle down for a moment. Actually, why don't you go grayscale for a bit and take them down? And, man, as I readjust my chair, I lean forward because I'm getting involved into this match. I mean, the kills pretty evenly distributed alongside the Chief side. 1 for top, 1 for jungle, 2 there for bottom, 3 in total for bottom, 2 for Jinx, and 1 for Braum. And then, I mean, you're looking at Maroochydore, and they're running 5 on the mid laner there, and 4 for the Ashe. And I mean, you're looking at those as really your hyper carries. The Jax hasn't been able to do so much. His farm is ridiculously good. He does have 123 farm. And there's, unfortunately, Jinx, you're in the wrong location. But Jax is there to help. But unfortunately, the LeBlanc also pops through. The ult from Braum popping down. Hopefully going to be able to dissuade anything from coming through. But the flash over the wall. Unfortunately, Jinx, you're in the wrong location. You tried to flash. You tried to heal. It wasn't enough. The rapid fire cannon now being bought for the Jinx, as Ashe has picked up the Runin's Hurricane. So she's going to be able to hit multiple targets at once. And we yet to see a second item be picked up for this Akali, and I believe that's when the ball will get rolling.
Just looking at the warding on the map, just the vision, just walking through your own jungle and just not knowing where anyone is.
Yeah, I mean,
Blue team's got lots of wards up, but
well, yeah,
ours are just very close to our own base.
Well, they are playing the wards on a little bit more of a defensive standpoint. And as we see, they're just sweeping for the wards now. They are waiting for maybe a misstep. They're literally waiting there for someone to misplay. Hey, there's no one in here. There's no one in here. I promise you that there is no one in here. You can come in here. The ult coming out. That was a really Hail Mary ult coming through. They didn't really see anyone there. Oh, there was a ward there that had recently expired, but I mean, that was a really risky ult. That could have easily been.
Baron, jungle's down. They might have a play at this.
Well, I mean, their jungler is down, so they do not have a smite to contest this. There is a ward down. The Maroochydore also do have a red there, denying any vision that's coming through. Whether they do, I mean, the Jinx ult. Let's pray to see if the Jinx ult can maybe steal it. The Akali may be jumping over as well. She's going to be able to maybe dash over. But the LeBlanc there as well, throwing down a lot of damage, distracting them just that little bit more. The Baron going further and further down. The Akali dashing over. Buddy, you are in the wrong way, but using the ult to dash back. And there's the Ashe. She's going to clean up all the wards, picking up that little bit of gold extra. The LeBlanc Wing back after getting a little bit of recon. The Jinx. I don't think LeBlanc likes Jinx. She's just always going for it at any means possible. I mean, Dorlingas has shown that he's such a strong player that he's a threat that needs to be dealt with. And the LeBlanc has said, yeah, I'll do that. I'll take that job. I'll easily do that. And I mean, it is being shown here. I mean, LeBlanc is now 6-1. They do have Barons. They are going to be wanting to push down as fast as possible. Use as much of that Baron buff to push down the towers when they can. The Dragon almost up as well. So we're looking at possibly, it is an Earth Dragon. So a Mountain Drake, sorry. And so, hopefully, picking that up. The Chisholm Chiefs are slowly pushing forwards, but whether they will get there in time, the Jax and the Ashe are doing a ridiculous amount of damage there. Braum pops a ward and then pops away. Probably the smartest decision.
You'll see Maroochydore push that bottom lane, and Sion should be pushing that top lane.
Yeah, the nice split there. And Sion, we haven't seen much of Sion all game.
No.
He's kind of just been sitting, doing his own thing.
I mean, at the moment, it doesn't really look like they need him. He's going 0-0-0.
Yeah. I mean, he's just sitting top. He's just smacking
doing
minions.
What top lanes do.
Yeah, he's just smacking minions, just healing, just having a little bit of fun, just playing Farm Simulator as well.
He's teleing in top, bot, sorry.
Yeah, he's teleporting through. Probably, he's a little bit further back, so I assume he's waiting for a perfect chance to come through with an ult. And the small boy taking a lot of damage there. And there's the LeBlanc, which is what I was afraid of. That huge AoE team damage. The Ashe ult coming down, stunning the Jarvan there. Akali being taken down by the LeBlanc as well, not going to be able to do anything. The Jinx taking a lot of damage here. The Sion Dinner Bell is coming through. And that has been a 3-for-0 so far. Sion taking a little bit of towers damage, but the Jax coming through. Titanic Hydra as well. The ult coming through from the Gnar, possibly trying to stun him into the turret, but not going to be able to do anything. And that is an ace from Maroochydore, and
you'll
that might be game as well. We'll see if they come through. They do have
5 seconds.
They also do have Baron. They do have the empowered minions. They do have a Jax and an Ashe. They will be able to take a lot of damage. We'll see what they can do here. Whether they are going to risk it to push all the way through. Whether they do take one and back off. Looks like they will be pushing for maybe a second inhibitor. The minions did push up into the mid lane. And there's one tower down, possibly another inhibitor. I don't think the Chisholm Chiefs are going to be able to get back up in time to contest it. And there we go. That's a huge power swing from the Maroochydore. Huge. And they're all recalling now with their empowered recalls. I mean, look at the gold discrepancy. That is almost 6k difference in the mid lane.
2.5 to the bot.
3k in the...
So both champions.
3k, yeah, 3k in the bot lane. I mean, the only one that has any reasonable, a smaller difference is the top lane. But that's just, I mean, that's, you know, that's just farming difference, you know. The LeBlanc taking blue. There we go. And Akali's yet to pick up her second item, and I'd hate to be malfunctioned in this situation.
LeBlanc's almost got her third.
Yeah, looking at getting a Rabadons. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm alt F4ing. Alt F4. I'm out of this game now. You know.
As soon as you get seen, you may as well just.
Yeah, and she. Wait, no, there she is. She's picked it up. She's picked up the Rabadons. which basically means, for those playing at home that don't know a lot about League of Legends, so LeBlanc, which is the mid laner, she's going to be making people pop like a balloon or a piñata on a kid's birthday. She's the baseball bat, and the Jinx is the piñata. And, you know, instead of a fail clip, she's hitting that and just busting open the candy. And candy in this situation is all the gold that she's given, which is going to feed into more items. It's a perpetual cycle.
Oh, see you later.
Speaking about popping like balloons, the Akali, unfortunately you wandered a little bit too far in, my friend, and you were able to take that down, but the small boy actually was able to stop the LeBlanc, the Ashe ultimate,
Just
but
gonna have to leave and give up that turret.
yeah, unfortunately it's looking harder and harder to come back into this game.
The next one's gonna have to be given up as well. They need to survive in that base.
They need a
Bottom lane is
hero.
pushing through.
What they need is some type of miracle to come through. I was very concerned about this LeBlanc coming in, knowing how much damage she can do, not only to a single target, but as to a team as well, with the Mimic Ws, being able to jump into the squishy team. I believe that this will be game right now. That's one. Nexus tower down. There's Ashe as well, just firing off those rapid fire Qs.
There's so much blue on the screen.
There's a lot of blue. The Cataclysm coming down, but I don't think that'll be enough. That is game for Maroochydore. A commanding 20-5 lead. Man. Whew.
Polar opposites to last week.
Yeah, I mean you absolutely destroy them. I mean that's this tournament. You know, you never know what will happen. You'll have one really good week where you'll absolutely decimate the enemy team, but then the other week, you know, you might be lacking in some areas of department. But man, yeah, that was intense. That was a good game. I mean, you know, you have to give. Oh man. I mean, MVP, for the Chiefs side, you'd have to give it to the Nah. I mean, he did everything that he could. He was teleporting into the team fights. He was doing everything he feasibly could. In every team fight, he was there. He was trying to do something as much as he could. But, I mean, for the enemy team, you can't go past that LeBlanc. She was so vicious, is the word I would use. Just ruthless in terms of the way that she jumped on. Anyway, we should have someone from the Chisholm Chiefs come through. We shall see when we open up the door. It's like what's behind door number 3, and it is It's our main man, Microlag. How you going, Microlag?
Yeah, alright.
Yeah, right. So a loss, another loss.
Yep.
It feels a little bit stinging defeat. Yeah.
A little.
Yeah. I mean, coming from your perspective, what were you thinking about that game?
Oof, that LeBlanc was crazy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she's able to pop you guys.
She played super well. She got nice picks. She pretty much one-shot her entire team.
Yeah.
Same with the Ashe.
Yeah.
I mean, she blind ulted me when there was no wards in the bush.
Yeah, well, there was a ward earlier. It had expired, so
Yeah.
they did have a little bit of vision, but that was a Hail Mary ult if I've ever seen one. But taking that away from you guys, is there anything that you guys need to think that you could see from that game so far? I mean, it's only 5 minutes after you finished it, but there is anything that you personally thought you could improve on, or what the team could improve on, or?
Personally, I think that early game strat was not worth it because I died, gave LeBlanc first blood and red blood. And red buff.
Yeah,
and she popped off after that, so
yeah,
that was not a good idea at all.
Yeah.
Should have played it more safe early game.
Yeah, well, and any final statements from you?
Yeah, just thanks to Maroochydore for playing with us, and yeah, I hope we play again in the future.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again. It's always cool to ask the guys and see what they can improve on. You know, as much as you can lose and win games, you can always learn something from one of your games. And anyway, I believe that will wrap us up for tonight. A big thank you to the featured co-star for tonight, Crypto. Thank you so much for filling in.
Thank you, Chuai.
Yeah, no, it's always good to bounce off someone as opposed to talking to myself for about an hour. No one wants to hear my voice for an hour. Even I don't want to hear that. But anyway, I've been your caster for tonight. My name is Chuai. Remember to follow us on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. Top right, by the way. Chuck us a follow on Twitch. And we will catch you guys next time.